So Arsenal prevailing in the North London derby 2-1. Michael Dawson watched it with us. So Dawson, how convincing were Arsenal?
It was pretty comfortable in the end. It could have been more comfortable. They had a few opportunities in the second half. Kai Havertz had a couple of headers, certainly one from a corner where he heads wide, and then one from the penalty box was probably a little bit harder. Odegaard should have finished it off late on into the game, where it was a really big miss for him, but it didn't come back to cost them. Overall, fair result, no complaints from Spurs' side. I mean, they made a change at half-time. They went out-and-out attack. Papasar off, Basuma off, James Maddison and Johnson on, and it changed a little bit. It became a little bit more of a basketball match, but the first half, or certainly the first 20 minutes, it was one-way traffic. Spurs just couldn't get control of the game. They were turning the ball over, and then they took the lead under Son against the run of play. But the two goals that they give away, another set piece for Arsenal on 40 minutes, a slight deflection off Solanke. I think it's gone down as an own goal. Yeah. But the one on 44 minutes, Ange will be absolutely raging because they have control of the ball. Bissouma loses it, Partey makes a good tackle, and then in the blink of an eye, it's in the back of your net just before half-time, and that would have probably changed his team talk because Arsenal were better the two teams in the first 45 minutes and deserved to go in 2-1 up.
Injuries, no excuse, you think, for that in terms of the defence?
I mean, look, of course, any team loses your best two centre-halves, and that's happened. But nothing against Archie Gray and Dragerson tonight. I just think collectively they turned the ball over early on in the game. Arsenal pressed them, they got after them, and then it's hard to react and come back from that in a North London derby. I've played in these games, and when you go away from home, it's about starting the game right. And Arsenal started better of the two teams, put them on the back foot. But then ultimately, they take the lead from a good finish from Son down to a slight deflection. What
do you make of Arsenal's title challenge at this point? 4 off Liverpool. Do you think that they will mount one?
Yeah, they are mounting one. There's no doubt in that. And, you know, they've come under criticism in the last two games. One from the Carabao Cup, where Newcastle were magnificent on the night. The difference was the goal scorer in Isak. And then at the weekend, they just didn't take the chances. And that can happen. And then it's amazing, all of a sudden, question marks come. Do we need a striker? I believe they needed a striker for a long time. But ultimately, when Jesus got injured at the weekend, Saka's been a big miss.
Would tonight have been easier with a striker?
I mean, look, Havertz played through the middle and isolated that. He didn't have to drop deep because for the first half it was pretty much one-way traffic. But when you get these opportunities in big games, you need to take them. And ultimately, Havertz again tonight missed a couple of chances, but it hasn't come back to be costly. But I just think in the long term, to be chasing an Arsenal team down, and certainly after Saka being missing, I think I've been saying it for years, he's so influential, and sometimes people only realise how important he is. We've talked about Odegaard when he was out, and now we're talking about Saka. But any football club in the country or in the world, you lose your best players, ultimately you're going to struggle, and that's what's happened for Arsenal. But 4 points off Liverpool, Aston Villa on Saturday night. They'll certainly enjoy winning a North London derby because it's a nice feeling.
What about your old club, Tottenham? What's the season about now? They sit 13th in the table. Is it Carabao Cup or bust?
It has to be. I mean, you look where they ended up last season, 2 points off Aston Villa in the Champions League spot, and you think, could they try and kick on from that? I mean, the injuries they've had to key players for long periods has hampered them. Of course it has. But where they are 13th, I didn't expect this. But semi-final of a Carabao Cup, albeit going to Liverpool, have only have lost one game against one of my other old teams in Nottingham Forest, who've been absolutely magnificent. So it's going to be a tough test going to Anfield early on in February, but they take the lead, Spurs, 1-0, and time will tell. But Ange knows he needs to be better. He needs better results. One win in 9 is not good enough in the Premier League, but we also know cup run can be key, and a chance to get to a final. They've got one toe in it, but I mean, there's a long way to go going to Anfield even with a 1-0 lead.
Long way to go. Michael Dawson, really appreciate you staying on to speak to us. Safe home. Thank you.
Thank you.